Don't wait till the battle's over. Don't wait till the struggle ends. Shout now, shout now, right now. Shout now, shout now. Don't wait till you make it.
And welcome to the PHILLIP Show. And this is part 2 of my interview with the Parker Scott costumer in LA. So last time we were talking about how do we identify challenging communication and what do we do? That was part 1. Today on part 2, we're going to continue that conversation, talk a little bit more about what her job is and how she found the courage through her entire journey to keep moving forward. So watch with me now as I jump back into the interview with the Parker Scott.
People are treating people so crazy right now. How do you even really get a gauge for what is disrespectful and what's not? We're letting so much stuff slide. It's just like, is that okay?
And it's so subjective too, right? Like some things slide, some don't. This will slide, this won't.
100%. But there's a lot of stuff that's happening right now and a lot of exchanges that, I don't know, I've never known that to be okay. But is it okay now? And maybe nobody wants to say anything because they don't want to seem oversensitive, but you're letting a lot of stuff slide. And it's not serving you in any way. It's actually disrupting the cosmos. I don't know. Everybody wants to say the universe now. So you're disrupting the universe with all of this nonsense. And it's only because you're not being true to who you are as a person. You're watching everybody is watching somebody else to get some point of reference. But how do you feel?
I love that. I love that you said that because, being true to yourself, and I just want to segue into being in LA, and you were talking about, having eczema. People made fun of that, but you kind of used that as a kind of a strength and all of a sudden turned it into comedy and power for you. Being in LA now, how do you remain authentic and true to yourself?
I get fired.
No.
But it is what it is. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. And I'm not getting ready to yell and scream either. I'm going to talk to you just like this. And you're not going to like what I'm saying to you. But what are you doing?
When you say you get fired, like what you don't have to be specific, but under what makes you get
let go? I was just having a conversation with a coworker who's also a girlfriend of mine about just the workplace environment right now amongst my departments, just that I've been in and the things that go on. And if we could just function harmoniously without a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't have anything to do with work, just silliness, whatever separate agenda you might have or whatever that doesn't have to do with the job. I don't know. We might be okay. We might be all right. But there are so many things that you have to just digest. And Black women specifically, we have to digest so much. And everything is, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Well, ma'am, I'm monotone. Like my voice pretty much stays here. You think I'm screaming like, no, I can get up there, but I'm not up there for you.
Any
more attention to myself by yelling and screaming?
Do you think that's it's so interesting because, you hear a lot of people say the angry Black woman, scenario. Do you think that plays do you think you become a stereotype when they start to say and pick or say things and pick you apart in that way?
Absolutely. The workplace needs to abolish the word attitude. Like, do not tell me I have an attitude. An attitude? What do you mean?
If you were to package it and say, I don't have an attitude, I am, what is it they're interpreting from you and labeling it as an attitude?
That is a word. That is absolutely a word, and an amazing counter to an attitude. Could you describe? Please describe. Please describe, because it's not happening. And what do? You have to, okay, now I'm written up or something weird, like written up.
Written up. Not the written up. Not the
But
written up. So
being written up at work is just such a weird thing. Like, I'm not in trouble. Like, I just need you to stop talking to me like I'm in trouble. Stop talking to me like I'm in trouble. I didn't do anything wrong.
You got your name on that. You done got your name on the chalkboard. You got your name on the chalkboard. You over here, Parker over here got demerits.
And this is absolutely detention because I've already put my out time and we're having this conversation.
Oh my gosh.
It feels very work related, but I'm going to let you get a pass. And that's my fault because I should proceed on. We'll talk about this first thing tomorrow morning. My call time is 7:30. Oh. 7:30. 7:42. We'll talk about it tomorrow. And I'm out.
Oh my goodness.
Stop talking to me about work-related stuff. Stop that.
How did you go? Take me on your journey really quickly. So you were in New York doing acting, doing comedy. You're in LA, and I know you're doing modeling. And how did you go from that to what you're doing now? And describe a little bit about what it is that you're doing.
So I am a costumer. And what costuming is I guess maintaining the integrity of the clothing on actors in television and film. Okay. So that goes from conception, which would be either having it made or purchased, to film, or to it being taped.
Oh, got it.
The costuming after the show is wrapped is hard labor. It is hard work doing the job. It is not easy at all. So it is interesting that more people don't know that it's a job.
Well, tell me, like, when you say it's hard work, tell me what's hard about it, because I don't think I understand quite what you mean either. What's hard about costuming?
So there are so many different elements to it, but I'll only discuss, I guess, what my most recent job would be, which was a truck costumer, a trailer costumer. And that is basically the nucleus of the costume department when we're filming. So there are things that come from bigger areas where you can have clothes, like our production area. But when we're traveling, you have to have all of the necessary costumes to film at any point. Mainly for movies. But if you're shooting an episodic that has longer episodes, you might have to have more with you when you travel. And I basically keep that area in order. So organize and kind of facilitate what goes on a daily basis, making sure that everything goes to camera immaculately.
Oh my goodness. What is your what is one tell me a funny story of like a costume, like faux pas, or like oh my God, I'm literally about to get fired for this.
Ooh. Oh, you know what you get fired for? You get fired for putting people in the wrong costume.
Because it has to be hard, right?
I'm sorry?
Does that have to be hard? Do you have like not a script, but
yes, you have so many tools to just completely 100% know that this is what the actor is supposed to be in, but human error, because it happens to the best of us. I don't ever want it to happen, but
not with you on the credits. what is I'm thinking of, let me know if this is something like if somebody were to watch a movie when you talk about, the error of it all, is it kind of like somebody has on like the wrong thing in the wrong scene?
It could happen a couple different ways. So if it happens just between us, sometimes it's a big deal. Like you wasted an expensive outfit for something that you only see the actor in for 5 seconds. And that is very unfortunate for the budget. So that is the importance of that situation. Like it's not a big deal. Nobody knows that it happened, fine, but you ate up, $15,000 on 4 seconds that might not even make it to the film. So you gotta chill on the look because you don't know whether that's gonna make it or not. You can't do anything with it.
Is the costumer the one that assigns the wardrobe, or is there somebody else that says this person's going to wear this and they're going to, whose bad is it that outfit is on that person for those 2 seconds and we just wasted that $15,000?
It's always the costume designer. The costume designer has to eat it no matter what, which is hard. It's a lot of pressure to have that streaming through your mind, but also in the same regard, that's what you're there to do. So you don't matter. You are an extension of your costume designer. So if everybody is flowing and, kind of working in excellence, everything should go amazingly, but it starts at the head. So I will say that absolutely have accountability for how you operate with your coworkers and just making sure that you are an extension of your designer, because what are we doing?
Is the costumer hired by the designer? Is that how you get in, or is it like the wardrobe? I'm about to make up words.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. So oftentimes designers will have worked with costumers and they keep them going with them because it's working. But then often supervisors will have a team that they know, and the supervisor will bring the costumers to the designer.
Got you. So you're in LA, and we talked about kind of like your upbringing with your eczema and
all right now.
look, don't cancel me.
All right.
But we talked about that, and then we talked a little bit about the stereotypical angry Black woman and how they can see you at times in LA. What are some maybe myths about Los Angeles? Because all we see, a lot of what people see is like Instagram and the final product. Is LA that glitz, that glamour that we think it is when we see social media and the final cut of?
No, short answer, it's not. It's not that. And you know what I think? We should stop calling General LA. General LA is families and people that grew up there, and it's a vibe. You can go to your auntie's house and still go to a barbecue. You can still go to a barbecue. People have family parties at their house and it's lit and everybody has a great time, and they go to work and come home and live great lives and have block parties, and there are great events where these families who are primarily minorities, except in the areas where they're like basically bulldozing and rebuilding apartments because there's no place for anybody to live, and nobody that it's crazy the rate of homelessness right now, and it was never like this. And LA, the weather is great all the time, so it was not cool to be homeless, but
well, that's back in the day. Well, That isn't that kind of like back in the day where it was like the actor, the actress, or the artist is like struggling and then they're homeless. It was like they made whole episodes about the
Because you can
coolness
make it
of,
like that. You can make it
yeah,
like that here. You can make it like that in New York. You just have
yeah,
to do it faster
yeah,
or get real.
yeah.
But in LA, you can come and do what you got to do.
Hmm.
You can do that anywhere. You don't have to be chained to a place.
Right.
So God forbid that there are people that are living on the street that don't have a plan of action. Sometimes you
Mm,
got to take a break, and that break gets crazy.
sure.
But sometimes you are being obedient and walking your path and focused, and you forget about the things that you crippled yourself doing, the things that don't
Mm,
matter.
yeah.
So you can make it here.
Mm,
Hollywood, that's a different place.
hmm.
It's make believe, and you get in situations where people forget this is real life.
No. Gotcha.
Right.
Hmm.
And that can happen anywhere at work because people forget that it's real life in the TV world, or they
Uh,
know that it's real life and they try you anyway. And that
from
goes back to just the microaggression scenario. Like, why would you say that to me?
hmm.
Why are you playing around with my life?
Yeah. Yeah, and one thing is interesting. It's like, and why don't you think that I'm going to have a response?
We both know what you're doing, and I'm
Yeah,
chilling,
yeah.
but you're still doing it, and it's weird. And I can't explain it because then I'm going to be having the same conversation with the same demographic who is probably also doing this to someone else.
Mm.
Look at you guys just causing a havoc at work. And the moment I react to it, the moment that I give you any energy about how you're acting, now I'm
So
having.
do you find yourself having to do you find the need for people to be, I guess, the bigger person and non-responsive?
If you want honestly, I want to say if you want to just put your head down and get to where you need to go, but it doesn't happen that way. Even when
Mm,
you put your head down or everybody like gets along with you, you have a good rapport. There's always going to be somebody who wants to just attack. It's just bizarre.
how do you maintain knowing that, right? And I want to get to one more thing, but knowing that, how do you maintain your mental stability is a big word, but your balance, your capacity for balance, or do you?
I only interact with people that I'm cool with.
Mm,
The level of energy that I give people that I don't have, I'm not getting a good reading on you. I don't even play around with it. The
mm,
reading is not good right now. We're not harmonious in some way. I'm not big on bringing up a feeling because that's my feeling.
mhm.
And if you do something to me that maybe doesn't bother me that much, but I'm just like, okay, whatever. And you don't say anything to rectify the situation, I'm just off you. I
Yeah.
don't want to make it a thing, but I also don't want to make you feel like your behavior is okay.
Mm,
That's not okay. And
yes.
the only thing I can take away from you is my energy.
Mm,
And that is what I'm going to do immediately. It happens instantly. And if I'm wrong, fine, whatever. But God is not going to ask me about nobody but me.
mm. That's a good point. The only thing that I can take away from you is my energy. That's deep. That's deep. Your journey has been from Atlanta to New York to California and all the in-betweens and befores and
Right.
how do you, well, before I get to how, what is your passion and where do you want to go?
I possess the ability to make people laugh on a large basis. Everyone that I come in contact with, we connect on a great level and have great stories and great laughs. And I really want to do that on just a larger scale.
Mm.
And all my other desires, and I don't even want to call them desires as much as I take care of me.
Okay.
So with doing that as a job or doing that as a career or as a passion, because I'm very passionate about it, as long as I'm focused on that, I know everything else that I could potentially ever desire will come to me.
Ooh, that's good.
It's the focus on doing what you want to do.
Mm.
Everybody can do exactly what they want to do. And you know what comes with the stuff that you are doing.
Mm.
What do you want to do? Not what somebody else is doing, for sure.
You mean like create your own path?
It's there. You feel it.
Mm.
When you're centered and just focused and concentrating on what you're supposed to be doing, things get done.
Mm.
And it's simple stuff. Like when you finally buckle down and say, you know what, I'm about to clean this room up.
I ain't gonna say I did it today, but listen,
I found everything. I could get dressed now. I know where everything is. Specifically, what you need, it is, okay, the third drawer in the back corner underneath.
not underneath. But it's interesting because what you're saying is huge, but it's that small thing. It's that take action of tidying up something. Do something to move.
Clean up your path. Clean it up.
Mm.
Your parents know you knew you couldn't focus. They come in the room like, this is why you acting up.
Yeah.
Because this room is a mess. You can't focus.
Mm.
You're cluttered. You can't find an activity.
Mm.
Clean up, get everything, get out of your way. Get all this stuff out of your way. You can see exactly where you're going.
When you were on your journey, because I'm sure entertainment is no punk. And being a female in entertainment is no joke. So when you were on your journey and you were faced with the opportunity to give up or turn back or turn around or be discouraged, what made you keep on going?
One thing I always say when it comes to getting in trouble is, I know God, that's not what God has for me.
Mm.
So in quitting or getting detoured in any capacity, you get to a point where you have to decide that, you know what, this is not what I'm doing here. And whatever that means for you.
Mm.
For me, it has always been I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be doing this. I look around and I don't see anything that is a petal. The flower is over once there's no petals.
Wow.
When these petals start to die, the flower is not looking hot. It's not looking good. And that's not how I want to move.
Yeah.
So it keeps you kind of like, okay, I need to get out of this scenario. And look, don't get me wrong. I kept some crazy petals. Don't even I kept some crazy petals, and it put some divots in the flower, but it is still thriving. The women that I am connected with, the friends, the family that I have. And I have numbers and cities, because I don't want to say how long it's been, but I've known you for...
It's been a minute.
Several hair looks. Several hair looks.
This is true.
Several looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But never this one though, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't here yet. I wasn't pulling this look.
No, you're pulling it though. Listen, she here. She ready.
Hey. So funny. That's great. But I say that to say, look at this amazing petal.
Yeah.
Congratulations on this phenomenal show, this great platform.
Thank you.
But that is it. If you focus on that, you're absolutely a reflection of the people that you have around you, and that's family and friends and whomever. Because human beings everybody's a person. We have put so much into the word family, when the reality of the situation is, when we got here, everybody around you was your family at that moment.
That's a great perspective. That's
how they're looking at you. we are all this. Like, no matter what, we're all this. It's a big clump. There's nobody running to your rescue for a reason. But we're responsible for what we're putting out and what we're allowing to be popular and the way that people are moving. And if we're not responsible, then okay, you guys aren't looking at us. You're not mimicking us. We're not setting the tone. We're not the vibe. Okay. So stand down, everybody.
So funny.
Unplug then. Like,
yeah. No, absolutely. No, I love you. It's so funny. You're so consistently funny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad that that you decided to come on the show and that you were here. It's so good to see you. I am so proud of you doing the daggone thing. It's just, I mean, it's amazing for how long we've known each other and for the journeys that we both have been on. And to be here today where we are is just, I mean, it's pretty incredible. So good for you. And killing them in the,
I'm so happy. I can't wait for our anniversary show.
Oh. Well, let me get my assistant to put that in the books.
Baby, look, don't say nothing when it's live, studio live.
Okay, and manifest it.
Yes, start working on how you walking out to the stage.
Listen.
Are you hidden studio audience?
That would be amazing.
Are you just coming out in front of them? Hello?
The whole situation. It's the whole situation.
Let's visualize it, because that's the come out is important.
Yes,
so
it is.
How the host comes out sets the tone.
Right, let me get my outfit ready now. The Parker Scott, thank you so much for being here and shining your light and giving us dropping some nuggets on us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes, the PhILLIP Show. See you this time next year.
Yes, that's Parker Scott here on the PhILLIP Show. And wow. So if you didn't get anything else from that, we are accountable. We are responsible. Be careful with the energy that you give. Be generous with the grace that you give. And be confident that you can forge your own path and just never give up. Thank you to Parker Scott for coming here. And remember, you are the best you in the world. We'll see you next time here on The PhILLIP Show.
Don't